Good afternoon, folks. It's Friday afternoon, October the 6th. You know, it was about a month ago that I decided to come to Orlando, and now I find myself here. I am the director of the Academy of Cleaning Excellence. My name is David Thompson. There's three words in which I focus on each and every Friday afternoon. Those three words: healthy, positive, and proactive. Now, today I'm joined by Skype. Ken Waddell's on the other end of the phone. We're going to get him on here just a little bit. This afternoon, I'm going to focus about a conversation on cleaning equipment that is used in facilities today. You know, there's many options when it comes to the equipment that we use. We're going to talk about those. We're going to specifically talk about certified, compact, and cordless choices. So, Ken, I hope that via Skype you're with me.
I'm here, Dave.
You're there. You know what? It looks like you're in a more comfortable place than I am with the flower and the lamp and everything. You must be at home.
Yeah, I thought about doing it in front of a fireplace, but it's a little early for that, I think.
Hey, it's October now. If you're in the right place in October, it would be right. So, Ken,
Right.
Tell people who you are, what you're doing, and how you come to be with us today.
All right. My name is Ken Waddell, and I work for the regional manager for Tacony Corporation, and I represent Tornado and CFR equipment. I live in Atlanta, Georgia. I cover Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, and Florida. And I've been in the Jansan industry for about 35 years. Most of that time I've tilted my career toward equipment. I just like showing equipment and demonstrating to people how it can help them do their job better, more efficiently, safer, so forth. And so for the past 4 or 5 years, I have been working for Tornado and CFR, and travel around the Southeast and have a lot of fun demonstrating equipment.
Well, you know, Ken, I've been around doing it as long as you have. And over the years, I've known Tornado very well. You know, I got my first, let's say, exposure to Tornado was the big jumbo vacuums with the 4 air-driven motors on them. But, you know, we're not here today to talk about those big pieces of equipment. We're going to be talking about the little ones.
There's a lot of exciting things happening in the equipment world today, and a lot of it has to do with the smaller pieces. Have some large scrubbers that are doing some new neat things too, but a lot of the new innovations are happening with the small pieces of equipment, vacuums and scrubbers.
You know, I think we're going to start talking, if I remember right, on our conversation today about, you know, something I did last week is I got rid of my corded electric blower that the cord was always pulling out of the handle, shorting, and my wife would say, "Why didn't this thing work? I got it plugged in," and it was always a short in the end of it. And I went and bought a battery-powered blower. And you know what? It's convenient, it's quiet, and I don't wake up the neighbors.
Exactly. And in that industry, you know, I think they really took the battery concept bull by the horns. They've done a great job transitioning a lot of corded units to battery units. I don't know what the ratio is of what Home Depot and Lowe's sells as far as corded drills to battery drills, but just from the exposure they get in floor space, I would say, you know, they're selling the vast majority of battery drills and power saws and things like that versus the corded units, and it's finally started to catch up in the cleaning industry, and it's a very exciting thing.
So is quiet the main reason we're going cordless?
Well, there's a lot of reasons. The industry, for one thing, is moving a lot toward daytime cleaning. Traditionally, People would come in at night, clean the facility, have it ready for the next day. A lot of facilities are trying to move toward daytime cleaning and just shutting down the building at night. They're saving a lot of money when they do that by not having to pay a night staff and running heating and air and electrical during the night, things like that. So they're trying to do more cleaning during the daytime. Well, you can't do that if you've got a lot of loud equipment running. You can't do that during the daytime if you have employees and customers walking around tripping over cords and things like that. So as the battery technology is getting better and you start seeing it on cleaning equipment, it's just amazing how quiet these machines run on batteries, and you don't have the cord following around for people to have to be careful and not trip over. So yeah, it's helping as far as that end goes, where you're getting a lot of work done during the day now that's not having to be done at night.
So I've heard that the dB rating on these battery powered equipment and probably even the electric, we need to be under 70 dB. Most of the battery powered equipment are falling there.
Yes, it is. Some of it very low, in the low 60s. I've seen some in the high 50s as far as decibel ratings. And that's important because, if people are on the phone, you don't want to disturb them. It's important for the user that what they use is, not going to disturb or not going to hurt their hearing. Right. Because they use it a lot, several hours at a time.
Yeah, I mean, I remember, and we're not picking on brands or anything, but this is my own experience. I used to run sanitaires all the time. Man, these freaking things whined like crazy, but that's what we had in the 80s. We're not there today. We've got battery power. I think the other thing is I've heard is I don't want to run battery power because they don't last long enough.
Well, that traditionally has been the problem. You just didn't get enough runtime to justify moving to batteries. But with all of our batteries that we use are lithium-ion technology, and you get close to an hour runtime on cordless vacuum cleaners, cordless small scrubbers, and you might think an hour is not, a long time, especially if you're vacuuming, 2, 3, 4 hours a night. You might think, well, that's not going to be enough. But what happens is when you're not tethered to a cord and you're not stopping to find another place to plug in and not stopping to wind up your cord before you go to your next location, your production goes way, way up. It's really amazing.
I can't tell you, whenever I was a contractor, how many cords we replaced on vacuums because they were always getting caught on something or wrapped up wrong, and it just was always a mess. And it looked very unprofessional too.
Yeah, I would say probably 75% of the vacuums that come in to be worked on are cord related. It's going to be a cord or a switch. Usually it's a cord. And,
okay, so I'm not going to pick on this too much. I mean, I'm only talking about my experience because I was a contractor, and what I had was the old red sanitaire. And I think you and I were talking about filtration with these new machines. I remember turning them on and then, man.
Yeah. Do you remember the old Peanuts cartoon with Pigpen? And everywhere he went, there was a little cloud of dust around him.
Ken, we're going to start telling our age here in just a minute.
I'm sorry.
But that's okay. But yes, I do remember.
Yeah, and that's kind of the way vacuums used to be back in the day. You would turn it on, especially with the what they call the dump bags.
Oh my!
Yeah, they were something. You would turn the vacuum cleaner on, and you'd see this puff of smoke and a cloud of dust rather. And what you were doing basically was just the dirt that you were picking up from the floor and the carpet, you were putting back into the air for you to breathe, other people to breathe, and for you to have to go back and redust and things like that. So the filtration on equipment has gotten a whole lot better. All of our vacuums are HEPA filtration.
Okay, because this is the education part of me, Ken. Pardon me just a moment, but the education part of me is coming out. HEPA, high efficiency particulate air filter. Now, if you haven't actually heard, that's what this is. So it's not something we just created. It's an acronym for high efficiency particulate air filter.
Right, and technically, that means that the vacuum is filtering out 99.97% of the particulates down to 0.3 microns. You know, that's what it means technically. What it really means to you is you're not breathing a bunch of dirt into your lungs, and neither is anyone else in the facility. And it just means that all the dirt that you're picking up is staying in the vacuum cleaner until you dispose of it.
Yeah, it's not going back in the air. So like you said, we're not creating another problem of having to dust again and stuff like that. I mean, we could keep on going on that subject. That's one of my real pet peeves. I'm a chronic asthmatic. So what I'm breathing is extremely important. So I think that leads us into risk management, because this is where you start talking about, if I'm not using these machines, these small, compact machines, and the things you've already mentioned, there's some risks involved.
Yes. If you're not using equipment that has good filtration and other, technological advances, then there are many risks for the employees. But mostly this equipment is for the people that are using it, and it needs to be safe for the people that are on the butt end of it every day using it.
So, I mean, I think the thing is the new machines that I see coming out are more worker focused, and that's where we minimize the risk with the worker focus, right?
Exactly. Our backpack vacuum cleaners, for instance, both the cordless and the corded versions have very nice harnesses on them. We went to the military and the backpack industry and said, can you help us make a good harness for our customers? And they pointed us to a company that actually the harness that we have on our backpack is the harness that is on the toddler carrier of a mountain climbing backpack. So if you can carry a kid around the mountains, you can certainly carry this vacuum. But the key is on all these, whether it's ours or anyone else's, it's not a one size fit all type thing. You need to put it on. You need to adjust the straps for your body type. And if one little skinny person has just taken it off, and then a guy my size tries to put it on, it's not going to be comfortable, especially for 2 or 3 hours of use. So adjust it to yourself, and it takes the weight off of pulling on your back or pushing you over, and places the weight right above your hips where it's supposed to be, and really takes a lot of the fatigue out of the process.
Well, and I think that was one of the things that whenever I got my first hands on the newer style was that it adjusts upwards for the length of the torso of somebody, not just the girth, but also the length of the torso, which I thought was a very good part. I didn't know that you actually got that from carrying babies on your back. I can't say that I've tried that one, so I'll have to remember that, Ken. So you talked earlier about cords. I mean, really, how much of an issue is this when we're talking risk management?
It's huge. I'd say where we're selling most of our cordless units right now. Now it's going to transition into every industry, just as cordless drills and other things that we talked about have. But where it has started out so well is hospitals, nursing homes. We do a huge business with cordless units in casinos, and it's because these places are, generally open 24 hours a day. A lot of airports, places that have traffic, and if you have a cord following you around, and there are people walking around you. It's just an accident waiting to happen. It really is. And
well, I know. Whenever I got my first hands on the very first ones, I was in Missouri at the time, and the very first place I took it was to staircases, because to me that was the worst trip and fall place of a cord on a staircase, and that was where I took it to test it out on myself. How did it work for me? And that was just kind of my first thing of doing that and finding out whether cordless really was something for me.
Absolutely. How many times have you seen, or have you yourself been vacuuming and you're backing up and you're kind of kicking the cord, out of the way to keep from tripping over it?
If you've ever run a backpack, you've done it at least more than once.
Absolutely. And that it takes all that away. And the thing is, with these cordless units, once you use it, you do not want to go back to the cord unless there's a certain specific situation. In some situations, the cord's the corded unit's the right unit. Same thing with blowers and drills and other things. But for most situations, the battery is really the way to go for safety and production.
I've never seen a facility yet, and maybe you have, but maybe I haven't been the right one, that actually has the proper custodial closet space. Now, unless we're talking a storage closet, that's a whole different thing. I'm talking about a janitor's closet.
Oh, I haven't either. It's an issue everywhere. We're constantly talking about, if the architect only knew what he was, or he or she were designing here, they would have at least given us a closet. I think every architect should work with a housekeeping crew at least one time before they start designing buildings, because it's always an issue. And since it's not being addressed on that end, the equipment companies have started addressing it on our end. We know it's an issue, so we're making our equipment, with folding handles and different ways to address that issue, so that you're taking up the least amount of space in the closet that you can possibly take up.
So these compact machines not only are compact for use and storage, but what about the spaces that we cover? I mean, and I'm going to go a little outside of the vacuums now, because when you talk about an auto scrubber, we normally don't talk about anything smaller than a 20-inch machine up to a 40-inch.
Right. And I have really changed my thinking on the size of auto scrubbers in the last several years. It kind of started with a call that I got from Plant Vogtle, a huge nuclear power plant. They said they wanted to talk about scrubbers. So what do you think I thought of, Dave?
Oh, you thought about a rider, and you thought, man, there's a $20,000 machine. And
yeah, I thought, well, I hope I have one big enough, And so I talked to them, and as it turned out, they wanted the smallest scrubber that I had.
Kind of deflated your balloon a little bit.
A little bit, but well, they bought several of the small, so it was fine from that point of view. But as I started demonstrating our small compact scrubbers, to this huge facility, I started realizing that every building, large or small, has these small areas underneath shelves, bathrooms, closets, all these spaces that are typically getting ignored because the cleaning equipment that they have is not designed to go into those tight spaces. So at Tornado, we sell a lot of the small cylindrical and oscillating scrubbers for that detail work. It's kind of like when I sell a large scrubber, I'll also present one of the small scrubbers in the kind of the the lawnmower and the weed eater concept.
Right.
My neighbor is very religious about cutting his grass with his lawnmower. He does it all the time. Okay. But he doesn't follow it up with the weed eater, so it's not a sharp looking, crisp finish when you get.
Oh no! Don't tell me you have to live close to that, Ken.
Well, yard's fine, but it could look a lot better if he did the detail work, and the devil's always in the details. In our industry, the better job you can do of doing that detail work, the better the facility's going to look.
So these pieces of equipment are, and I think one of our C's, if you will, the 3 C's that we started with here was convenience. So we have storage that we can put them in. We can get into tight places. Are these pieces really that much more user-friendly for the frontline worker?
They are, and we've designed them to, be able to go upstairs easily. At least half the workforce of a janitorial company at night is going to be women usually, and they might shy away from the use of the large scrubber, but they love using these small compact scrubbers that are light, easy to transport. A lot of these scrubbers, you can fold the handle down, put them in the back seat of a car, and go from, like, if you're cleaning doctors and dentist office, go from one to the next, and really handle any kind of floor situation with one machine. And that's another thing is machines today need to do more than one thing. It's kind of like your telephone needs to be more than just something that you talk to people on. It better
really. You mean I use this to talk on?
Yeah.
I thought it was just a camera.
That's about the truth. It's a mini computer now, but we try to make our equipment useful for more than one thing. You can do several different types of floors, put several different kind of pads or brushes on the machine. So mobility and versatility are a huge thing when people are looking at these small scrubbers.
Well, yeah, it doesn't matter whether it's in the closet or out on the job. It has to be user friendly, and that really constitutes a lot of things. And we used to think of it with just one thing, but it's ergonomics, weight, dependability, the mobility, as you said, going upstairs, changing brushes, or for different surfaces. I got to ask you a question. I know we're live on the air, so I might have catch you off guard on this one. Yeah. But when are the batteries going to be interchangeable, like the power tool market? I can get 5 different power tools and have one battery that clicks on them. Are we going there yet?
I know we're going there. I know we've had serious discussions on it. Why should you have to have a different battery for every piece of equipment? The last time I asked that question at a meeting where there were some technical people there, I got a lot of talk that I didn't really understand about the passive systems and things like this, but they were all in agreement. It needs to happen, and it's going to happen. It's just going to be a matter of time.
Okay, so let's switch gears just a little bit, because it's our final thing that I want to talk about today, because it's kind of dear to my heart, and that's certifications. We see these on pieces of equipment, but I don't think a lot of people understand what they're looking at, and so they just ignore it.
Well, it's important. It really is. The Carpet and Rug Institute is located here in Georgia, up in Carpet Mill country, and
Carpet heaven.
Yeah, Carpet heaven, and they do a lot of continual testing on equipment and certification on vacuums, extractors, machines like that, and they're looking at several different factors. The main thing is when you see it is a CRI, Carpet and Rug Institute approved piece of equipment, you can have a lot more confidence that that piece of equipment is going to do what it's intended to do.
So what I did, because I have my certifications courses that we, have here at the Academy, I went into this and dug into it because, that's what education is about. What is behind it? And we work with details and facts. And one of the things I found out was that this seal of approval, I wanted to find out exactly what are we looking at on a seal of approval so that I know what that seal means. Right. And I think you and I had a conversation about this before we got on the air. So kind of let the audience know a little bit about what that seal means.
Well, that seal means that they have passed a certain series of tests, and they usually rate the piece of equipment bronze, silver, or gold based on how efficient it is in each one of these tests. They look at things like soil removal, how much soil is being taken out of the carpet. They look at extractors. They look at resoiling. How quickly does the carpet resoil after it's been cleaned? Okay. They look at residual moisture. How much moisture does it leave in the carpet? Nothing good happens in carpet when it's wet.
And if it left a lot of moisture, it left a lot of dirt too.
Yeah, absolutely. So the mantra in the carpet business, if you're cleaning it, is clean it, get it clean, and get it dry, because nothing good happens wet. So they're looking at that. They're looking at surface appearance change. I think you and I will agree that the old bonnet system, where the carpet bonnet has these green scrub strips and it's going around like this, and it's just tearing the carpet fibers up. Yeah.
Okay. So you brought that subject up, not me, but I'm going to follow you. And I've said that a bonnet is the only thing that makes the carpet look evenly dirty.
That's pretty much what it's doing. It's spreading the dirt out evenly, so you don't notice it so much. Okay,
so probably I'll get a lot of dings, since this is a live show. Later on, I'll probably get a lot of dings about that. But you can tell I'm not a fan of bonneting. But it does change the appearance, but I don't think it's quite in the right way.
No, it's not. Carpet manufacturers, a lot of times it will void the warranty if you bonnet clean. Carpet manufacturers don't like this action. They do like this action for brushes to lift their product and open it up so that you can remove more soil, but they're not much on the disc action on their machine, on their product either.
So do we really have an issue with the other one that they have here, color fastness, anymore?
I don't see a lot of that. Do you? I don't see a lot of machines that are affecting color.
I mean, we used to back in the day, as you and I keep saying, but today I don't think that, but it's still a good thing to know that they're looking at.
Right. Another thing they look at on extractors is what the carpet's pH is when they finish the cleaning process. You want it as neutral as possible, around 7. You don't want to leave a high alkalinity in the carpet. It'll start attracting soil again and so forth. And
I thought that was a key point whenever I found this out, that they're actually testing for between 4 and 10. So I'm looking at a lot of carpet products that are out there on the market that people are using that are on the opposite ends of that scale. So that kind of helped me whenever I'm talking in a class, because this is not just me saying that. I've said this for years, but now I found proof somebody far more recognized in the carpet business than I.
Yeah, they don't like heavy, alkaline or acidic levels, and it could be, again, that's kind of like moisture. Nothing good happens when the pH is way out of balance like that.
Okay,
and
so I think, go ahead.
Then, and just another thing they look at is optical brighteners. They're not big fans there either.
I never have been. I just thought it was interesting they even had it on there, because I've never talked about that. I thought what was interesting, though, if I can go back to this, was the soil testing that they had and how they rated bronze, silver, and gold. I didn't realize how little difference there was, and that even at a gold level, it was only 55%.
Yeah, that is kind of shocking, isn't it? But,
it is.
It's I guess it's the nature of carpet. Carpet is always going to be popular for some reasons. A lot of people just like the feel of it on their feet. A lot of people like it because it hides dirt so well, and it will hide a lot of dirt. There's a lot of surface area on carpet that you don't have with a flat floor, and it will hide dirt for a long time. Now, eventually, it's going to catch up with you.
Okay, so I'm not going to tell on that one there, Ken, because I've got a lot of things I could say. If you come to one of my classes, you'll hear what I really think about carpet. I'm not going to go there today because this is a good live show. The thing is I thought it was also interesting when you look at these certifications. A lot of people don't realize what they're looking at, and that's the reason we want to talk to you today about it, folks. Whenever you look at the machines, look for this little green and blue label. I also know that they're coming out with some that is now a green plus. It's on an all green label. We're not going to show that today, but everything's changing.
It is. I know a lot of our equipment may start out in the bronze level on the CRI equipment certification, but then we start making improvements and things like that. For instance, our CV30 vacuum cleaner, I believe it started bronze, now it's gold. So we keep making improvements until it is as good as it can possibly be. Okay, so we've taken up a lot of your time today, folks, and we thank you for staying with us. Ken, let's close this out by what we're doing here this month. This month, October 19th, we are doing a big tornado equipment and CFR equipment show. We're going to have it at Camping World Stadium. What's that? What did it used to be called? Citrus Bowl, I guess. Hey, that was before I got here, Ken. Don't ask me. I haven't been here that long. It's always been Camping World, and it's just down the street. It is very close to Jim. We are putting on a big show. We're going to have all our new equipment there, as well as just about our full line of equipment, and it's going to be a day of hands-on. You can grab anything you want to and play with it and run it and see how you like it. We're going to have all our new battery equipment there. We're also going to have some educational seminars. I believe you're going to do one there, and we're also going to have one on propanes. Is that correct? Well, actually, what we've been talking about today, I've got a full 1-hour presentation on the subjects on this. We're going to do a propane certification course, and then I think you're going to talk about hygiene in the CFR and carpet as well. The one thing I didn't realize till I started looking at this, you're 90 years old. No, I'm sorry, Ken, not you. No, tornado. Okay. Hey, you're looking pretty good for 90, my friend. Thank you. Yeah, we're celebrating our 90th year, so it's exciting. So we'll have all of our new equipment there too. new stand-on scrubber, new oscillating walk-behind machine. And we're going to have a lot of giveaways. And I think the grand prize is a cruise. And so how do they sign up for that, Dave?
How you sign up for that? Yes, it's only going to be next week, so you don't have much time. So we're going to keep the registration open probably right up until the day that we actually have it. After you have viewed this video today, you can actually go down below. We're going to have the link in the description page, and you can go right there and sign up for attending the show. As we said, we got the 3 classes. So you make sure that you sign up for the classes that you want to attend during the day. You know, come and see us. Come and see Ken. We're going to be there talking. Well, hey, we're going to be there, what, from 9 until 4 or something like that?
And free food, Dave.
Free food on you.
On us, yes, absolutely.
Ken, I look forward to seeing you down here on the 19th.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks for being on the show with me today. Now, if you're looking for professional development education, you know, from one of our campuses, we now have 5 of them. They are Atlanta, Georgia, Tampa, Lakeland, Kissimmee, and right here in Orlando, here in Florida. Go to our Academy website. That is academyofcleaning.com. You can also sign up for our live class online, and even, not the same cruise Ken was talking about, but our own cruise for certification to the Bahamas. So don't miss that. Also check out all of our social media pages. You know, we've got LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. Like and share our pages. We all enjoy that. It makes all of us look a lot better. So I'm just going to say today, right now, we are live from Orlando. We'll be back next Friday afternoon at 1 p.m. I'm Dave Thompson. Keep changing your future. Keep those changes healthy, positive, and proactive. And remember my mantra, I am a janitor and I save lives. Thanks for watching, folks.